What's up, dude?
What's going on?
It's been a little while.
Yep.
You've been busy, bro.
I have, dude. I have.
What's new in your world, man?
So quite a bit. Working with Corps, doing a lot of things. I think last time I was on the Corps side of things, I think we were getting ready for the Corps Medical Foundation's fundraiser.
Yeah.
And that was incredible. You know, in years past, I've been super stressed out trying to plan and manage that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there was still some stress there, but it was the smoothest one that we've ever had. We raised more money than we've ever raised. It was an incredible event. That's the best that I've seen the Military Appreciation Weekend be. I thought we put together like an incredible crew. We raised a ton of money for veterans. That was awesome. Went off without a hitch. I also have, I got hired on with John Bernthal through Marvel to be the military advisor for the Punisher. So did some of that with the Punisher as well as for the Punisher's part in A Brand New Day. And then we can talk more about that the closer it gets to coming out.
Yeah.
But I know, the Punisher was the special that they're doing. It's like a 1 hour special for Disney Plus. That premieres just right around the corner.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited for that to come out. I think it's going to be really cool, and I think it's like a different version of the Punisher than we've ever seen. So I'm super excited about it.
Well, is it cool to be able to like transition your real world like tactics into that, like to where it like brings more realism to stuff like that? Because you see a lot of stuff where people watch stuff and they're like, that's not how they do that. That's not how you're supposed to do that. That's not how you hold this. Like that's not how you enter a room.
There were some really funny moments on set. Having the director and all these people arguing about why he should be doing this and what he should be doing. And finally, one of the stunt coordinators turns and looks at me and is like, "What would you do in this situation?" And the kind of scene is there's a guy on the other side of some glass right next to a door, and he's wearing body armor. And he's like, I'm like, man, I would use that little round thing on every door, and I would use that to open the door like a normal person. And he's like, but what about the dude behind the glass? I was like, it's glass. I can shoot through it. I'll shoot him, and then I'll go through the door. It makes no sense for me to jump through this glass, and if I get cut, I was like, but it looks cool. Yeah. And so if you tell me we're doing it because it looks cool, I'm fine.
Well, there's some sacrificial stuff there, right? There's some stuff it's like, dude, it's theater, right? Like you want to. It's not supposed to be 100% accurate, I don't think. Some people get in the weeds about that. Like you have these like realists, they're like, oh man, that's not. And I get that part, but at the same time, this is still a film, man.
Yeah,
What in any of those situations.
Yep.
But I do. I think we talked about this a little before last time you were on. I do have appreciation for like the people that are shooting these military films that are like trying to get it as accurate as possible.
I think that's the coolest thing with John is that he is.
Yeah.
He is super fun to work with. I mean, it really is just a blast to, whether it's on set or just like working through the things. Man, he works freaking hard. Like, I kind of went up there in my head trying to like psych myself up of like, because we did all the filming there in New York. And going up, I was like, these people are pretending to be like me and my friends.
Right.
Like, that's what they're getting paid to do.
Yeah.
And then I get up there and I was like, bro, they are working their butts off. Like crazy long hours, always getting after it, always thinking about and changing things and trying to make it better the whole time. They are putting in a lot of hours, dude. I was absolutely flabbergasted at how hard they were working for that project.
Insane how much time goes into just one scene. Like this poster behind me, like I was in that movie and it's a small film here, but like, dude, we shot that fight scene probably, and I agreed to it knowing that I was going to get my ass kicked in the fight, which kind of pissed me off a little bit, but I made the movie poster was like, hey, that's a good trade-off. But like I believe we filmed that 8 hours just for like a maybe 30 to 45 second fight scene.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yep. And that's without like all the editing stuff. VFX and all that kind of stuff.
That was a low budget film.
Yeah. Well, man, I was about to say the Punisher special wasn't like, we were so condensed on time and condensed on money that we didn't have time to like go through. Like a lot of the scenes that you'll see in the movie are like long. I mean, the whole movie is a fight scene,
right?
With brief periods of not fighting.
Yeah.
But there were times where it's like, well, this is as good as we're going to be able to get it in a one take shot. We're moving on. There was a lot of, dude, it was stressing me out. But it was super cool to see the whole process and to like work with those dudes. Stunt team was awesome. Those guys get beat up for a living, and it is wild. But man, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Seeing the process, seeing how they break it down, all the writing stuff. It's a unique field to be in.
Yeah.
That also, I never thought I was it wasn't on my bucket list.
That's crazy.
What I mean?
Yeah. How did you, can you even talk about that? How did that just randomly fall into your purview?
So the CEO of Core Medical Group is Sidney Gordon. Been a close friend of mine for many, many years. Well, that's his brother-in-law is John Bernthal.
Okay.
And so one year, John came to Military Appreciation Weekend in order to support it. And I was there. We met. He asked me to be the military advisor for The Punisher, I think season 2. Back then it was on Netflix. And I ended up being deployed. I couldn't do it. Helped him find another Green Beret SF dude that could go help out with it. And then we linked back up. He actually called when he was wrapping up with The Accountant 2 and asked.
Which was a phenomenal movie, dude. Holy shit. We haven't talked about that. I didn't think, dude, bro.
Very good.
That, man, how they brought them together. And it like gave it made you feel better about the whole thing, you know, like tied it all back together.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought John was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought Ben Affleck was hilarious.
He was great, dude. He plays like the best autistic dude ever. It was great.
Yeah. That was, anytime I was doing something and John would be like, hey, come here, I want you to, I got to finish, dude. I got to finish what I'm doing. But no, man, I enjoyed it. We went out, spent like a week, I think, with him and his family, got to know him, did a lot of talking with him. And like, he actually gave me a shout out on the red carpet, and I did not know that. I didn't see it until I was getting back off the plane at Shreveport Regional, and one of my buddies that went with me calls me. He's like, hey, have you seen her Instagram yet? I was like, no. He's like, sends me a thing. It's John Bernthal being interviewed on the red carpet, talking about the 3 former Marines that he brought out to help get ready for the Punisher. It's pretty wild. He's like Colton Hill, which he also says that I was a Marine Corps Raider, and I was not, but that's okay. But the other 2 guys were Nick Kumalatzos and Cody Alford. And Cody's like one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
I freaking love Cody. Nick's a great guy too. But it was an awesome experience to get out there and meet John, hang out with his family. This is not a show. This is how he is at home. You know what I mean? And
he has some footprint here. I met him in passing when they were shooting. I can't remember what film here, but that's when he had Big Sean going around with him, kind of backing him up. And that's been some years ago, probably, dude. It's probably been almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. I think he's been working on a script that he wrote about Shreveport. I think it's 11 years. Okay, so that's about right then, because I just met him in passing, and it was really, I mean, maybe 5 minutes of his time. It wasn't like we were hanging out or anything, but he's super, super fucking cool. And that's right when The Punisher came out, like right after it came out, and I was like, hell yeah, you know? Oh, yeah. Man, he's such an interesting dude. It's kind of, so when we first met, he was asking me, like, oh, you know, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from Louisiana. He's like, oh, dude, where at in Louisiana? I said, Shreveport. He's like, dude, I love Shreveport. And I was like, dude,
no one loves Shreveport.
I already think you're cool. Yeah. Like, you ain't got a lot of kick it. Yeah. And then he's like, no, man, I've been to Herbie K's, and he just starts saying random things about Shreveport that you would only know if you spent time here. Yeah. And I was blown away, man. But he kind of told me the story, and then here recently, I actually got to like go through and read the script for that show about Shreveport, and I know some of the people that it's about. So it's pretty wild to see. it's an incredible. I think it's one of the coolest things that I've ever read. I can't wait to see it, like the project get put together.
Yeah.
But he's super passionate about the area, super passionate about the people. His dog is named Bam Bam after Bam Bam, one of the OG dudes from Shreveport.
Right.
Pretty just crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how small of a world. Just how that come together. So now on the other side of it, like Core Medical, what's going on there? What's new there? Because like you guys, and for people who don't know, like, I mean, well versed in like peptides, TRT, hormone replacement therapy, supporting veterans, veterans with PTSD and other things. So
70% of veterans that commit suicide have a hormone deficiency. The VA released a study, I think it was last year or 2024, that females who were on hormone replacement therapy were committing suicide at half the rate of those who were not. And so we know that there's a direct correlation between hormonal imbalance and mental health.
Right.
There's no way that when I first got on TRT, my testosterone was 180, and then I got put back in the normal ranges. And I will never forget, like, talking to my wife and saying, I don't know who I've been the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That dude's not me. And 8 weeks into TRT, I'm like, oh, I've been living with a crazy amount of brain fog, and I didn't realize it. You can't be who you're supposed to be if your hormones are out of balance. When you're estrogen dominant, which is a very common thing, whether it's guys that are taking steroids and taking nothing to like control the estrogen.
Yeah, like what would it be? Anastrozole? Not anastrozole. Anastrozole, yeah, anastrozole, and then what's the other thing you take with it?
Enclomiphene.
Yeah, enclomiphene, yeah.
Yep. So something to like keep natural production going, something to combat the estrogen in your body, and that's different for everybody. How much and how frequent that you take those medications, that's all based off of your blood work when you come to core. So if you've got crazy high, like for me, my body for whatever reason wants to convert, like it wants to. My estrogen is always trying to get high. And so I have to take more than most people.
Mine's the same way, dude. I don't know if it's because I maybe built up a tolerance, maybe. I don't really know the science behind that because I did so much like black market shit, 15, 20 years ago. I
don't know, man. I know of like 2 guys that have to take as much anastrozole as I do.
Yeah.
And because the counter side of that is you can definitely take too much.
For sure.
If you crush your estrogen, that's terrible for you.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to be 0, but you also don't want it to be, 50 or 60 either. You don't want it to be too high. And I think that's where a lot of things like myths surrounding hormone replacement, and there's like a big stigma on hormone replacement therapy. I think a lot of that is changing right now in our culture.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see it, but especially being able to correlate hormonal imbalance to mental health is a game changer.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do exclusively with the Core Medical Foundation. We started that back in 2022. We raise money and we donate blood work, telehealth, and 1 year of free hormone replacement therapy and oftentimes peptides as well, for free at no cost to soldiers or veterans, law enforcement, and first responders.
Yeah.
And so that has been, like I came from those communities, so it's awesome to see the like firsthand work that we're doing. Talk to people on a weekly basis that are like, man, this changed my life. Like this got me back my marriage. This got me back, to being myself. I'm the dad that I'm supposed to be because of this medication. It's super rewarding. And also I've been through it myself. Like even, this is quite some time ago, but me and my wife were I'd been at Core for a long time, 7 years maybe. And we were going to try to have a kid. And so I was like getting off of testosterone and trying to get my natural production going. And then, I don't know, 2 months into this process, I'm like, I leave jiu-jitsu one day, I sit in my truck and I just have like a full-blown mental breakdown. Like sitting in my truck, I'm crying. I don't know why. And like I call one of my buddies, I'm like, dude, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what just came over me. We get to talking for a while and he's like, this is what you do for a living. You educate people. It also applies to you.
Yeah.
He's like, your estrogen is
It's really high.
Yep, really high, and your testosterone is really low. And so I mean, even fairly recently been through it. I took a shot of testosterone the next day, and I went and talked to my wife and was like, all right, we gotta change something. We gotta look at a different protocol here. And so that's the, you know, I know that it's real. I've lived it myself multiple times, actually. But, and then on the core medical group side, the for-profit side, you know, I think it's roughly 60% of the patients that we onboard every week are veterans. So we're really doing I think we're doing a great job of reaching the veterans and the active duty military guys. But what we're also doing is really trying to reach the law enforcement side, because the same stressors, I mean, they've got the same divorce rates, they've got the same substance abuse problems, they got the same, you know, traumatic brain injuries from getting into car crashes and stuff like that. All of those stressors are the same, and a lot of them are veterans to begin with. So that's why we've been really trying to like get out and do educational stuff for the law enforcement programs. The other side of it is trying to get things done, change that like the institutional level for, you know, Sydney, our CEO, was on the board for Make America Healthy Again, advising RFK on peptides and TRT protocols, trying to get a standard of care set up in the United States.
Yeah, it's still kind of wonky right now, right? Because like you have all these like black market like
there's
suppliers.
Like black market, there's gray market stuff.
Yeah, like there's stuff everywhere, dude.
And dude, we started doing this a while back. Sydney would send me like reports. We would get these research chemical companies and take it and send it off for lab testing. And then he's like ordering a couple of employees just to order it just to see what it's like. And it's like, well, you're ordering BPC 157, you're getting HCG, or vice versa. And then a lot of it, the stuff that was what it said it was, it still had incredibly high levels of like mercury and lead. And every now and then we'd find a company that was doing it right. It was good stuff, but it's still, you just never know what you're getting.
And and people like, and I just want to mention that because like it's becoming extremely popular.
Yep.
And you have these small clinics that may be prescribing stuff, and like my thing is like, dude, I've only ever used your guys' stuff because like it makes me nervous. I don't want to order some shit. I know plenty of people have been doing it, like where you get a powder and you have to mix it and all that, not knowing exactly what's in it. Like I get it from you guys. It's pre-mixed. I know exactly what the dosage is. I know no question. I've already talked to my NP about it. Like we discussed what the protocol is. I know like how I need to onboard it, how I need to get off of it, how long I can take it, like all that stuff. Like these people are just like getting TikTok videos on how to mix this shit and taking it, and they're taking extremely high levels, which could be detrimental because, I mean, what it's doing for you is just, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's creating more a natural synapses and trying to ignite these things to work better.
Yeah, on the peptide side. Yeah, and there's a ton of research, you know, going on with those peptides. But I mean, I think it was like I think it's 72%. Like you recover or heal at like 72% faster with BPC.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
it's crazy. You know what I mean?
And you pair that with what TB 500. Yeah, you take pair those together, and
you can actually do the like glow stack. People call it too.
Yeah, I keep seeing that. Yeah,
I actually just recently started that.
Okay, so how long you been on that?
Almost a month.
So that's BPC, TB, and then what else is in there?
GHK-Cu.
And so what does that one do?
It's like a copper thing. It's at the end of the day, it's still my BPC and TB 500, but with that copper, it also helps it to like supposed to make your like skin. That's why they call it the glow. It's supposed to like make your skin better, your hair grow faster, increase collagen production, like stuff like that. So there's a bunch of benefits there. I was like, well, I'm ordering 2 or 3 different compounds anyways. I'm just going to give it a shot and see how it goes. And so far, I'm pretty happy with it. But man, it's crazy. Like the more you read on the peptides, you know, there's so many different peptides out there now.
Well, and the biggest one's the semaglutide, right? And like, and that's the one that like is a huge controversial. Like, but it's partly because, and we've talked about it a little bit, but this is one of those things where like, and I think I've had this conversation with other people too. It's like anyone can get it now, and I feel like there's, you know, like there's people that take it that should not take it, that don't need to lose any more weight or any more bone mass, you know, and all these things.
And it's not muscle sparing.
Right.
And so what's happening is people are taking way too much. They're losing all of their muscle and some of their fat. And so then it just creates an environment where they're never going to be happy with, they're not going to look better in the mirror.
And you have clinicians that are prescribing this, and they're giving everyone the same dosage and the same protocol, which is not. I don't like. It's like, what do you do? Like? No, man. Like that's. I mean, it's just like with anything else. Like I feel like you're supposed to say there's not a one size fits all for hormone replacement therapy, and damn sure not for peptides either.
No. And that's having a provider to go through your blood work and like make recommendations. Well, hey, this is a contraindication for taking these peptides. I wouldn't take these. I would take those. I think that's worth the peace of mind that it affords you of knowing that what you're doing is helping you, not hurting you. Also, it's all American pharmacies. That's
another thing.
Yep. We don't use anything that's coming from China, which is a big deal.
That's another thing, man. Because like, dude,
the majority of them are.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know, like, and it'll say like, what does it say on like for testing purposes or something? For research. Yeah, research purposes. Yeah, man, I've looked at a bunch of that stuff, and I'm just like, I did a round of Samorlin. I talked to you about that. I believe I might have talked to you last time. I did some IGF, which that's been around a long time.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Samorlin seemed to give me a little bit more water retention than I liked, but also at the same time, it might have been my training regimen too. Yeah. So like, I don't really know. I think I was discussing doing Tessamorlin, and I haven't even done it yet. I'm just gonna give myself some time and just kind of doing raw dogging it with just some TRT right now.
Man, anytime I've got a shoulder surgery scheduled coming up, and so I'm getting back on. I'll get like on a high dose of TB500, BPC 157, and IGF to help with that recovery piece. And typically, what I do is like with my provider, I'll work with them and go over things. I've dropped my prescription down of testosterone pretty significantly, but as I get closer and closer to the surgery, I'll probably start like bumping it up a little bit higher, running it just for the anti-inflammatory properties, all those kind of things. Overall, helping you be more resilient. So it's going to help me recover faster. They give me the same protocol when I had my knee surgery, and it was fantastic. My physical therapist was like, dude, you are 12 weeks ahead of schedule. That's nuts.
What's up. Yeah. And you can't really feel it, but you can tell that's what I've noticed is like, I can tell that I am recovering faster, but it's not like one of those things where you take like some crazy gear and you just feel completely different. It's more like, okay, well, I'm moving, or I feel like when you're recovering, you don't realize you're recovering, right? Because you don't have any ailments. You're like, oh shit. And then you look back like, oh, for the past 2 weeks, my knee doesn't hurt anymore. Oh shit. Yeah. Well, I'm doing better and I don't even realize it.
I kind of joke around and talk to people about this all the time, because when I first started taking it for that knee surgery, dude, I was in bad shape. Like my back was terrible. I sounded like I was 100 years old trying to get out of bed every morning. For like the first 5 minutes of my day, I could not put my weight on my left foot. Like I would have to like just stand and like press on my hips to like give my back some relief. I had, for many years, I had like shooting sciatic nerve pain, constant. And then when I got on the BPC 157, I don't know how long it was, like 8 weeks or 9 weeks in, like one day I just got out of bed and just walked off, and I was like, oh my God. It took me a while. Like once I finally woke up and realized, I didn't moan, I didn't groan, I put both feet on, just it's reduced that inflammation enough to a tolerable level. Like another funny thing is going to the doctor and they're like, well, what's your typical pain level? And I'm like, oh, probably normal. They're like, well, normal is 0. I'm like, well, not that.
Yeah,
it's not normal. It's not 0. So BPC has helped me get closer to 0 rather than, this is just, everybody deals with this kind of pain.
Yeah.
It's at the TB500 as well. Have
you done NAD plus?
Yeah. So
I just started that's the only one I messed with recently. I was thinking I hadn't really done any peptides, so I was talking about that. I thought about that, but I haven't done any of the performance or recovery stuff recently. But that's more for brain, like from understanding, like cognitive stuff, and like I've noticed a difference where I'm not craving caffeine after doing it.
Really?
Like as much as I was before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something to do with it or not. But I've only been doing it for like 3 weeks, so.
I've been on it for a while, couple of months. Dude, I'm a huge fan.
How are you taking it?
Sub-Q.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to try to get back to doing IVs. I have, I've been giving myself IVs for a long time. But I used to do, man, I really love this. I actually got this from our CEO. Most of the time when he's in town and can at his office, he shows up to work early, 45 minutes to an hour early, and then throws up an IV and puts a bunch of like vitamin C, NAD plus, glutathione, like a big glutathione push, all this stuff, bio boost. And he just does that every Monday to start his week. And he's like, man, I feel like $1 million. If I had too much to drink this weekend or whatever, it helps me like detox that. There's a ton of benefits to it. But every time I go and do that, I feel like $1 million, Yeah. So I want to get back into that habit. But the NAD plus IV, I don't know have you ever taken an IV?
No, I've never done any of those IV ever. The only IV I ever had is when I was like having surgery or something.
NAD plus is a different thing
after a weight cut, I've had to get an IV too. I didn't have to, but I got one. But yeah, I can imagine if it's going straight to the stream.
Wait, dude, it gives you like a bunch of side effects. Like for me personally, like as soon as it hit, I felt sick. Like my body felt like hot. It was miserable. Like you're gonna throw up.
Yeah. How long did that last?
The whole time. So we did a stem cell clinic. Me, Sydney, and one of my outreach buddies, Matt Spalding. We go up there and they did NAD plus IVs every morning for us with stem cells in them. And I think Matt took his in like 35 minutes. Sydney took his in like 45. I did mine in an hour and a half. Like I don't know if it just was hitting me worse or if I'm just weaker than they are. I don't know. I could not tolerate it, dude. Every time I felt like a little baby. I just turned it off.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the second you turn it off and it's not dripping, gone.
That's crazy. So you had to just like power through that shit.
What? The more that you dilute it, the less of those side effects you feel, and the faster you run it. So the more of it you put in your system at once, the more that you're going to feel those side effects. But those side effects are not like proof that it's working.
Right.
It's just you can if you can dilute it and get it to a place where it's not giving you those signs and symptoms. It's not better or worse.
Gotcha.
It just makes it more comfortable.
Gotcha.
And so, but they were like, the typical thing is probably an hour to get this IV. And Matt did his in like I said, 38 minutes or something crazy fast. I was like, dude, not me. Can't do it.
I've had that problem with like sub-Q and like Samorlin or something like where you'll have like a hot patch, you'll hive up some. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah, I've seen that, and I just like it, and like it irritates the skin
for a second, and then it goes away, but it freaks you out at first. So what the hell, But I mean, I'm trying to take this for benefit. It's not like if it's just for a second, fine, move forward. But I had taken Melatonin or whatever it is a long time ago, so I remember those side effects. But that hits you immediately too. It would give me like a
tan.
Well, yeah, it would darken you up, but it would like make me feel sick to my stomach immediately right after.
Oh wow!
For like the first 20 minutes, and then it would go away. But they say that shit's good for like it's good for like sexual shit. Like,
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, supposedly it's supposed to be like, dude, it'll give you a hard on quicker, and then it'll darken you up some too. But I was taking it just to get the tan. I didn't know that it got the other benefits because I was probably running other shit too and didn't even know the difference.
I've got some buddies that did that. I haven't really like read up much on that one. But yeah, dude, I've been doing the glutathione BioBoost in NAD plus for quite a while now, and I'm a huge fan of it. It does get a little difficult, like when I travel a lot. So flying, and
because you have to keep this stuff cold.
Yeah, you got to keep it cold.
What do you know about these nasal peptides, these nasal sprays? Because I've seen a lot of research on them. It's like something about the blood-brain barrier, and not really.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that tells me that it works.
Right.
I think most of it is a waste of money.
Right. Got you.
Now, like there is a pill form of like BPC 157.
I had it before I met you. I'd had it.
That is actually, that's a great thing. It's just a different avenue. It's really for like gut health.
Yeah.
So if you're having, excuse me, digestion or like gut health problems, taking BPC orally is a fantastic way to do it.
Okay.
But it's not going to give you like the total body inflammation reduction or spot injection, like all the benefits that injectable BPC would.
Got you. Well, what else is going on in that organization? Like, have you seen the recent stuff with the Ibogaine and all that stuff?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's wild.
It's a good win.
It is.
Right?
It is.
So, like, does that align with what you guys are doing? Like, are y'all involved in that in any?
So, we've got a lot of people that are involved in that space that are aligned with CORE.
Got you.
And so, honestly, it was a complete surprise to me. I was down at a conference down in South Texas, and somebody sent me, it was like 12 dudes from CORE Medical Group on a group text, and they sent that out. That was wild. That's fantastic. There is so much evidence behind it, and we've known that for so long. It's just cool to see that somehow it takes a podcaster to text the president to get it done.
No shit, right? That was insane. Yeah, that was great. When I flipped open, I was doing something for work, and I flipped open my phone, and I immediately saw that press conference, and I was like, is this AI? You know? And then I opened it up, started watching, I was like, holy shit, look at this.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I think it's good for it's good for everybody. I have never personally done Ibogaine, but I want to.
Well, I mean, I haven't. I don't even know anyone who's personally done it. I've talked to some people who've done some ayahuasca.
I know a lot of people.
So you do, okay. Yeah. So what have you heard? Like, is it similar to ayahuasca? Is it the same?
I don't know, and I've never done either of those.
Right.
But everybody that I've talked to has different experiences on those, like, different medications, if you want to call them that. Yeah. But it's like the same experience for each.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Like, it's similar experiences, right? That's what I've heard. But
I've heard actually it was DJ Shipley was like, every time I take it, I have to die. And he's like, so now he's like, when I first started, it would take so much because I was so resistant to that, like my personal death during that experience. Now he's like, I've done it. I don't know how many times he's done it, but he's like, I've done it so many times now. He's like, I just go in. I'm like, well, let's get it done. Let's go for it. He's like, once you break that barrier, you achieve so much. Like, it just separates emotion from, and like feeling from, these things that have happened in your life, from like traumatic experience. So it allows you to work through and process trauma more efficiently, I think. Yeah. is what it does. I've had buddies who relived combat experiences where they were inhumane to the enemy, and it haunted them, and they relived that experience where they were actually like providing care and like being comforting, and so it's like somehow he was able to make that right in his head, in order to move past it. And that's, man, even him just telling me, he called me up, he's like, I just got done with the protocol, dude, I'm bawling my eyes out, this is what happened. And he's like, that everybody I've talked to has similar experiences of that, of doing, depending on what the type of medication is, the different thing that it allows them to do. I can't wait to see where this goes. I hope this is just like the beginning of a lot of progress.
I feel like it is, man. It's just like, man, it's one of those things, like we're talking about the peptides. Those are moving forward now. Even TRT. I mean, that you couldn't even hardly even talk about that 10 years ago.
Yeah. Sydney's run CORE for 16 or 17 years. It's two totally different, culturally like acceptable things to do from 17 years ago till now. Yeah. Actually, Sydney and Matt and some other guys from CORE were actually just up at the VA. They had a meeting with the secretary of the VA this morning, and going over hormone replacement therapy, how it relates to mental health. We're getting a like 25,000 person beta at CORE Medical Group through the VA of patients that we can treat and manage and record all that. We've actually got some people coming down to do like a research paper on it as we go through. And once this goes through, the goal would be a contract with the VA that all patient care for hormonal issues goes through CORE rather than through the VA. Yeah. They use most of the doctors at the VA, and I'm not every VA is a little bit different. The VA that I went to told me your testosterone is 180, but I don't want to give you TRT because I want to see you under 200. And I was like,
why? That's another problem.
180 is less than 200.
Right. No shit.
I don't understand what we're doing. And he's like, well, I want to see you there for 6 months. I was like, dude, I'm not spending another minute where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like,
do you want me to kill myself?
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm miserable.
Yeah.
The other part of it is the oh man, that idea just straight left me. Oh, the other part is, so like going in and getting they'll give you testosterone. When they do prescribe it, they give you testosterone and no supporting medications. And so you wind up into that. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Yeah.
You know, that's great, and you're going to feel really good for a short period of time, and then those signs and symptoms are going to slowly start coming back because you're killing your natural production, which means your testosterone is going to go down once that stops producing, and then also your estrogen is just left completely unchecked. Most of the time, they're not even checking your estrogen. So getting away from 60-year-old outdated protocols and getting into like, this is the proven technique that we know about. Following the science, as they like to say, you know?
Yeah. Well, man, it's everything. I feel like a lot of things are finally starting to kind of get around the corner. You know what I mean? Like, it's just been like right there peeking its head out for, at least since I've been an adult, right?
I know. So Sydney and Mel Chansey at Core Medical Group for 16 or 17 years have been beating down the door of the VA, trying to make a change, trying to make an impact. We actually initially offered to do like a beta with the U.S. Navy and fund it out of our own pocket. Like, it wouldn't even cost anything to the Navy. They told us no.
Yeah.
But I've seen how much he cares about it. It's interesting that now, like, the culture, it seems like this, the culture that exists right now is like, we're ready to make that change. And so we're finally starting to see a lot of progress. I think the thing with the VA is huge, dude.
No, that's massive, dude. Because, I mean, I remember the first time we talked like 2 years ago, it was like just having that discussion, like, that's not happening. You're not getting it from there.
Yeah.
If you do, it's not going to be what you need.
Yep. I know we have some guys that get there. Like, I've got buddies that get TRT from the VA, but they're coming to us for their supporting meds. Right,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're not getting what you need, you know? Yep. And it's one of those things where, like you said, it's something that needs to be updated. There's a lot of things in the system that needs to be updated. Like look what happened to the food pyramid this past year.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the motherfucker's flipped upside down now. Yep. You know what I mean? And like, we have known this has been an issue, but like, it takes a lot of tree shaking and a lot of pissed off people and a lot of, you know, money lost and people's pockets affected. But like, it's like, think about the sustainability. Yeah, I get it. Like, so use cheaper products or whatever you do to you know, mass produce something. In the long term, that people are going to get sick, and then they're going to have to rely on you for medication. You're going to make money on that again. But eventually, when everyone's dead, like, how are you going to make money then? You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I'm so disgusted with that side of, like, the more that you look into the food pyramid and how it came to be and who funded it and the deceit that went into doing that, like, that was actively working to destroy the United States citizens.
Well, I mean, it demolished a whole generation if you think about it.
Yeah,
it really did. Like, detrimentally, like, look at heart disease and
disease,
like one of these things where people are like, resistance. Oh, it's it's genetic. I'm like, dude, you're not a fat ass because of your genes. Like, maybe some people, a very, 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 very small percentage. Same thing with heart disease. I get it. Yes, maybe some people, but like, it's what we're putting in our fucking bodies. We're putting seed oils and sugars in our bodies constantly, and it's in every fucking thing.
Yep. The seed oils that were designed to be a small engine lubricant.
Exactly.
That you're ingesting.
Yeah.
And that's, on one side, I'm super pro rights, regardless. Smaller government, more rights for the individual. It's up to me to decide. If I want to start a company selling yellow 40 and, you know what I mean, and red 40 and all that stuff, like, by all means, part of me is like, that should be allowed because that's what I want to do. But I'm required to put a warning label on it. You know what I mean? The other side of it is when you steer people the wrong direction for so long and like cover it up.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, like, dude, how many of us ate country crock or whatever it's called, like the vegetable spread? Like,
Yeah.
bought that. Everyone bought that because it was, one, that people thought tasted better, but two, it was much cheaper than butter, you know?
Yep.
And like all these hamburger helper and all this stuff that's prepackaged and all
Everybody
this
was saying it
bullshit.
was way healthier than regular butter.
Right. It's like butter's bad, fat's bad for you. Fat's bad for you. Fat's bad for you. Like, do not eat fat. Like, let's get low fat. You know, do this diet drinks. You know, it's just like, oh, this shit, dude. I try to steer away, but as I drink my microplastics, I mean, dude, it's an uphill battle, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I try to steer away from some things, but I'm trying to pay attention, like trying to just constantly eat whole foods, even though I'll still, if I do like a protein shake, I try to at least look at the ingredients and like, okay, it has 3 or 4 things in it instead of 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I think the best plan to stick with is one that you actually stick with.
Yeah.
I say that all the time to people when it comes to like, oh, what's the best concealed carry gun? I'm like, dude, a 22 is not what I would recommend, but if it's the only gun that you'll carry and you'll carry it every day, then a 22 is the best concealed handgun for you.
Yeah.
And then for like a workout, a lot of people obsess about workouts, like what their workout plan or progress needs to be. It's like, dude, the best program is the one that you actually do. Just go work out.
That's a good point. It really is, because there's so many people that they're not going to do it. You know, or they're going to see something and be intimidated, or they're not going to feel comfortable. So that's going to be the immediate excuse not to do it. So then we're not going there.
Dude, I'm an extremist. So every time I'm like, oh, I got to get my diet right, it's like my diet has to be perfect. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, but what I've seen more often throughout my life is that I'll get that super strict diet, and then I burn out on it. I run myself in the ground trying to do that. Whereas what I do now is keep up with how many calories I'm eating, mainly just looking at how much protein I'm eating. I'm eating healthy. I'm eating whole foods, like actual foods, not products that come from a factory, as often as possible. And you know how difficult that can be, especially like when you're on the road.
On the road, man, it's hard.
Yep.
Because even like if you grab a protein bar, it's gonna have some bullshit in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. But it's a give and take, man. The best thing that I can do is pay attention to it and try to do the best I can at it, and not beat myself up for when I have to, you know, go get a thing from Starbucks. Like, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'll live.
Yeah.
Also, the amount of microplastics that I consumed, like being deployed overseas and having all those water bottles sitting out in 120 degree Afghan heat, like direct sunlight, that we just drank every day for 7 months and stood around burning trash pits. There's no telling how many toxins are in my body.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're in there.
So
it is what it is. Let's try not to put more in there, but they're already, you know, it's one of those things.
Can't change that. But what I can do is focus on what I'm doing now. And so that's been, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I got super big into like the NAD plus and the glutathione, is the detox side of it. Like glutathione's great for like a heavy metal detox. So like I use that every day now, because I'm trying to like overcome the past 20 years of destroying my body.
And that's great for your liver too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your liver and your kidneys, I believe.
Yeah. So what's you're doing jiu-jitsu? You've lost some weight since last time you were on here. So like, what are you down to now?
Like 210.
Okay.
I was probably 230 last time I was here.
Is that just from rolling, or?
Yeah. So, man, getting back on like my BPC and all that stuff. For the past 3 years, I have not like worked out consistently. I've been in so much pain and dealing with so many nagging injuries that it's like I couldn't figure out how to get back into the gym. The past like 2 or 3 months, I've been being very, very consistent with lifting weights and doing jiu-jitsu. I was just down at the Texas Tactical Police Officers Association down in Austin, or just north of Austin. But like, even while I was down there with the super busy schedule that we were working, I still found time to get out to like Simple Man and go train at Craig Jones and them's gym. Did like a seminar with John Carlo from practice. Got to like go and get my rounds in and meet some interesting, pretty cool people. I met Declan Moody. It was pretty cool. He was up at Simple Man when we went up there. But like getting a chance to go roll, even though I'm out of town, even though I got a busy, hectic schedule, whether it's getting up earlier, going before I go to dinner at night, just being consistent with that roll. Number one, I think jiu-jitsu is therapy mentally for me.
Yeah.
I'm super present. I'm in the moment. I think we've talked about that before. But it's also like the only form of cardio that I like, that I enjoy. So
I'm not looking forward to, well, as soon as we get done here, I got to go do Murph prep. We've been doing that every week. It's just in our programming right now.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that, man. But yeah, it's one of those things where I have to do, like, and with my schedule here recently, it's like there's some weeks where I can get 2 days once or twice. And for us, it's great, you know, on the competitive side of CrossFit, but also like there's some weeks where I can only get like 3 workouts in all week long. Oh, yeah. So I just try to make sure that I'm intentional at least, you know. And it's one of those things, I could just do that.
Yeah.
And not focus on all the other shit I have going on, but I feel like I need to, you know, just kind of have a good balance.
So here recently, the past couple of months, I've been teaching. So I train up at SMAA. Well, we brought our kids program back. And so I've been like helping teach with the kids class. And both of my kids got into it. So they're going and training up there now with me as well. So it made me be like super, man, I used to work late all the time. Now I have to be off work and at the gym by 4:30 in order to start the kids class. You know, so like it forces me into a position of being more disciplined with my time during the day. Like no matter what, you know, 4:15 is my shut off time. I've got to shut it down, pack my stuff up, and get over to the gym. So that has been nice. Because what happens is I teach kids class from 4:30 to 5:30, or help with kids class depending on who else is there. And then there's a 5:30 to 6:30, like kind of eco roll deal where it's like a basic beginners fundamentals course. And then afterwards there's a 6:30 to 7:30 like advanced jiu-jitsu course. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm here from 4:30 to 7:30 now doing jiu-jitsu every single day, or 4 days a week at least. So I just bumped up significantly how much I'm training.
Gotcha.
And it's been awesome. I enjoy it. It's also always fun to like go travel and be reminded that you're not good at jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that's spending all this time and I still suck at it.
I mean, dude, what belt are you at now?
I'm still blue belt.
Okay, I mean, and man, I don't know. It never was my thing. I think I was like, I already had enough uphill battles I had going on. I was like, I didn't want to tackle that one, and then I like picked up and ran with like CrossFit, and I feel the same way, dude. I get to feeling great, doing good, and then I go like we'll drop in somewhere else, like if we're out of town working or whatever, and I'm like, dude, you're not good. Yeah. But I mean, you have to think like doing that sport is where there's competitive or at leisure, you're still top 1%, you know, as an individual you are anyways, you know, for what you've done in your life. So it's like,
well, especially like I've been training for a long time. I'm a blue belt because it's hard for me to be consistent to one coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, Wayne doesn't get a lot of looks at me because I'm traveling so much.
Right.
And so that's no big deal. I don't really care about the belt, honestly. I mean, I would like to be a black belt one day before I die. But that's really all I care about is increasing my skill level, not necessarily the belt level. But when you've been training for 7 years, pretty intense, if a new guy walks in, it's his first day of jiu-jitsu, there's like a 0% chance that it's even going to be fun and entertaining for me.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you are not actively training, then you don't realize that you will be mauled.
Yeah.
Like I'll be singing the song that's playing on the radio while I do whatever I want to you. And that is kind of what made me get into jiu-jitsu, is like realizing that someone that is smaller than me, less athletic than me, can freaking beat my ass just because they're training this sport. They know how to, like Pedro Sauer has a great quote. I think he was like 145 pounds and he fought a 310 pound bodybuilder. There was a boxer. And he said, my friend, you see a man, he brought 300 pounds of muscle to a fight. I see a man who brought a skeleton, and I'm going to use it against him. He's just like, also I just made Pedro Sauer sound Irish somehow. But no, you know, that's the truth, is these dudes completely know and understand the timing of those moves. They see more of the roadmap than I do. And so like everything that I see as an opportunity is a trap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what's so cool about it is it is like playing chess with the human body. You're making complicated decisions under stress and at times in bad positions. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like you can tell a lot about somebody when you roll with them too.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think this is one of those things where, I mean, I've trained with a very diverse group of individuals from, no grappling experience at all the way to elite UFC champion. So it's like one of those things where I've had those experiences and they all ragdoll me either way. It's like, it's just, I power through a lot because I'm strong. So it's like, okay, I can get out of a position. I'm not getting out of the position the most efficient way. But I can get out of it. Like me rolling up an arm bar looks like fucking ridiculous, but I have a way where I can do it, without popping my elbow out of socket. But
that's kind of what's fun to me though. It's like, I'm a strong, athletic dude, and I don't look like it, but I have a gas tank. And so I look like I'm physically exhausted and about to throw up or pass out, and I might be, but I still am like pushing a pace that's very difficult to keep up with oftentimes. But I can have an escape technique that is like brown and down is what I call it. From brown belt down, people are not stopping this.
Right.
But then I go roll with Wayne or go to, roll with Declan Moody, and it's like that technique
that shit don't fly.
There is no amount of muscling through it. His technique is just too good. And so that's fun to me to be like, okay, well, there's some small detail that I'm missing. There's some small technique that I'm missing. And sometimes it's the craziest small detail. Man, I enjoy obsessing over trying to get better at jiu-jitsu. But I'd talk to any black belt. You're like, hey man, like, dude, it must be so nice to be that good at jiu-jitsu. And they're like, bro, I still suck. Everybody thinks that they suck. So it's just fun, man, getting rolls in with people. All of my friends now, most of my friends are into jiu-jitsu at some point. And also the most diverse group of people you'll ever meet at a jiu-jitsu gym.
1,000%. It's just like similar to like a fight gym. I mean, it's just, it's one of those things where like coming up in that atmosphere, dude, it's so insane. Like when everyone's in there, you don't really like they don't have that identity, that public identity. Like everyone, like it's just like when you're in school, what everyone has that whatever, like there might be this group of people. Right. And all that. Like you don't have that identity when you step in there. It's like everyone, especially if you're doing gi, like, or whatever, or no gi, but like you're in there, you're a body, and let's see what that mind and body can do. It's
also fun when you spend a little time out of it, like not training, and then you come back. It's like, oh, my ability to process information is slow. So I'm like, I'm just missing the timing. I'm like, I should have made that shot. Instead, I fainted, and it was there, and I just came back out.
It's just because you hadn't been getting your reps in. Right. It's there, but it's like your timing wasn't there because the muscle memory wasn't there yet.
Man, I love it. I've for sure fallen in love with it, and I will continue to do it as long as my body allows me to. But you meet some incredible people in the jiu-jitsu community, and it's the same in fight gyms as well. I just can't throw a punch.
I can't anymore either, dude. That's why I'm doing CrossFit. It's the same in that too. I think it's any competitive atmosphere. Like, what I mean? There's so many different walks of life of people. They're all, everything's humbling, so when you strip all that ego from someone, like you have common ground, and you can just kind of, appreciate each other.
And I think CrossFit's a different one. Like, man, I've enjoyed throughout my life. I have enjoyed competing, period. So like, I have no problems being like, hey, I don't train CrossFit, but I'm going to go do a CrossFit competition and see where I stack up. I did a strongman competition at like 195 pounds. I was the smallest dude there by 150 pounds. And it was a blast. You know what I mean? Messing with the Atlas stones and all this stuff. It's just fun. I knew I'm not going to win. I'm not qualified to win. I'm not practicing or training for it. I'm just going to compete to see and have a good time and meet these other people. It's fun to meet people who are like the best at what they do. You know what I mean? If you're the best underwater basket weaver on the planet, it would be cool to watch you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
if you're the best actor in the world, it's always fantastic to watch it. That's what I like, is finding people that are the best in the world at some physical endeavor.
Yeah.
And then just getting to see how they are and how they work through that stress and that all the dilemmas that come along the way, regardless of what the sport is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's there's art. It's an art, man. All of that is.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is definitely an art, and it's interesting that it's interesting how it got its introduction, right? You know, and then what's happened over the past 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, especially like to the U.S.
Yeah.
Coming around through UFC, really.
Through some like super shady like fights back then. Like that was like pay-per-view only, and like you couldn't access it, or it might have been via tapes. I can't remember.
It's crazy now that it's like on Paramount, and you can just
you just watch it. You just watch a no-gi competition or whatever, you know.
I've been like watching the PGF stuff for a little while, and it's fantastic to watch, man. But like that didn't exist not that long ago.
Wasn't it interesting too, like how mature the sport has grown? Because like you go sit down and watch fights now, and there's more people that respect that art. Before, like 10 years ago, and there's still those people who are like, they just want to see a slugfest, you know, in the ring.
Dude,
I get excited, dude. I get stressed out because I'm like,
oh, I know, yeah.
If you move, because like I guess I did enough competing and training in that field for so long. I'm just not like a submission artist, and never have been. It's more like defend and get back up. But I'll watch stuff and I'm just like, if you just make this one tweak, you have it. Or holy shit, if you move the wrong way, you're screwed. You know, like that shit stresses me out, especially if it's a fighter I like, you know.
Especially when you see them do some like complicated low percentage move and like, pull it off. You're like, dude,
like Poirier trying to do a guillotine, he still can't.
Dude, like Mighty Mouse. Watching Mighty Mouse, insane.
Wild stuff, dude. I still think he's probably one of the most pound for pound, probably one of the. I don't even know how to like label him, but just the amount of skill and power that dude has for his size.
Yep. I don't know if you saw a video of him with Khabib and their training team.
Yeah.
And there was an Olympic wrestler there that he out wrestled in a wrestling exchange, and I was like, oh my god, dude. The Olympic wrestler was bigger than him. Yeah. It's just nuts to watch him compete at this. Dude, he's smart. He's super in shape. He's an incredible athlete. But like suplexing someone and then catching an arm midair and falling into an armbar is the most bananas thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's freaking wild, bro.
Did you see that girl fight? Was it two? I might have talked about this already on the show. It's probably been a month ago. Oh man, I'm trying to draw a blank who it was.
It was the bad
knockout.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was bad.
Man, have you ever been to a UFC fight live?
Yeah. So interesting enough, like I had the opportunity to train with Daniel Cormier a few times, and went to when he won the title against Gustafsson in Houston. I've only been to 3. That was the biggest one I ever went to. I'd love to go a bunch more. It's just timing, but like, I got to meet him through a guy I was working with, and I went and rolled and sparred with him, and it wasn't like I was going to do any good. It was just more like he was being gracious to let me in the room and hang out, you know, kind of thing. But that was surreal, being like right there inside of his training camp, helping him get some reps. I was just a body for him to spar with, to help him get some reps in, and then see him achieve that goal, like in like that, the pinnacle of his career. Yep. Like, it was pretty amazing. I haven't been to one recently, man, but it's insane.
I'm one of my really good buddies is Michael Johnson, and dude, I think he's been in the UFC for 17 years now.
So he's from California, right? Is Michael from California?
Honestly, I don't even know where he's from. He fights out of Florida.
Is he out of Florida? I think. Anyways,
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know where he's from originally. Honestly,
sorry. Go ahead.
But MJ. Going and like watching his fight, like train up, finishing up with the weight cut, all that stuff, his weigh-ins. We happened to be in Vegas at the same time. So SHOT Show was all the way up until Saturday night. And then Saturday was his fight. And I think SHOT Show ended Friday. Yeah. And so he hit me up and was like, hey, if you're in Vegas already, you're definitely coming to my fight. So I went to my first one. That's the first one I've ever been to that was Paddy Pimblett and Dustin Gaethje.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane.
Bangers.
Yeah.
Like there was a bunch of really fantastic fights that night. And I got to be there live to watch it. Unfortunately, last minute, they pulled MJ's fight. There was some odd changes to like the betting odds.
Okay.
And so I don't know how in depth, but like, you know, he spent the entire day prior to the fight, instead of fighting, he was talking to the UFC, talking to the FBI and all this stuff. And he's like, look, whatever is happening, it's not on my side.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's clearly it's on the other side. So he went from being like a crazy underdog to being a crazy favorite. That swing happened like 24 hours before the fight.
Okay.
And so the UFC's already in a lot of trouble with that. And so there's already a bunch of investigations going on. So they ended up, Dana White told them, hey, you got to drop it.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Sucks, because I was super excited to see it. But talking about being at a fight camp and seeing, dude, I saw the drive, the hunger. Like, he was prepped, he was ready. I was like, man, that makes me miss that. Like, I miss whether it's like a wrestling competition that you like cut and wait for, and I'm getting, you know, having that like goal that I'm chasing. I miss.
Well, it's cool to look back and you know, you've done through it and you're like, oh, I missed that, but also it sucks during it. It sucks so bad during it.
Yeah, but that's the moments that it starts to
it's worth it.
Well, it's like, it's here.
Yeah.
It's I'm primed, I'm ready, I'm confident, especially somebody like MJ that's been in for 17 years. I mean, if you look at the people that he's fought, win or lost against, it's an incredible list of human beings.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's got a pedigree, bro. He's been doing it quite a while, and he's still game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That last fight sucked. I hated to watch that. He just got caught.
Yeah. I mean, and that happens, man. It's like one of those things. There's nothing you can do about that.
But dude, talking about being at UFC, I think I'd rather watch it at my house.
I agree for commentary.
Not just commentary, but for like every time they hit the ground, the crowd is like, boo.
Yeah, that's shit.
Like,
yeah, but that happens. Like, that's local fights too, because I was doing commentary on local fights for a couple years, and it's the same shit. You have these drunk people, and they just want to see someone get knocked out, which is cool.
You know, there's a bunch of people that are 300 pounds. Don't train.
Exactly. Never have, never will.
Hollering, stand them up.
Yeah.
And like, there was a time where there was a dude in mount, and they were like, boo, stand them up. And I was like, yeah, I bet that's what the dude on bottom is saying.
Of course.
No, this is boring. Let me stand up.
And I agree, but it has gotten even better, because 10 years ago, the whole crowd was like that. There's more of appreciation now for grappling, to where like you can have a very well-versed match where both individuals are just going at it, whether there's takedown, there's in the clinch the whole time, they may throw a few punches, and there's a lot of adversity there, and you won't see as much as you would have before. Yeah. But I like watching. Yeah, that's one good point. And also, I like to be able to hear commentary, just because I'm bad about doing commentary myself during it. And like, you know what I mean? Yep. Like,
I am too.
And it's like, oh man, I agree. Oh shit, yeah, that's right. Oh, I didn't see that. And having such a good commentary team, when you hear them, you're like, oh yeah, he is right. There's a hole right there. Or you should have done this. You know, that part's cool to me.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like the commentary, especially when there's good commentary. I think a lot of times you're like, what did he just say?
Yeah, there's some times where I don't agree with but I mean, there's only a few people that are just phenomenal, and you can't have them on every single card. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I think Rogan and Cormier are some of the best. Like, dude, and I mean, Paul Felder's good. I like him. But I really think, like, and then you have John Adik, who's just a good feeling. Yeah. He's that guy that, you know.
I like DC a lot, man.
Dude, he's great. He's great. He's great for having the wrestling knowledge, and you have Rogan for the jiu-jitsu knowledge, and then the striking is like, it's self-explanatory to a point. Like, yeah, of course, there's going to be specific arts and stuff you can discuss, but like, it's having those two. It's like you have those two components and blending them together and discussing. Well, he should have shot there or stuffed it here, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like I said, it's cool to watch anybody that's in the top 1% of what they're doing.
That's the same thing, yeah.
The UFC is a unique place where, you know, like we were talking about 20 years ago, you had your sumo wrestler, you had your karate guy, you had your wrestler, and a jiu-jitsu guy, and then they all just duked it out. Now everybody is all of those things.
They're mixed martial arts, every single one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, like when I started, I was a boxer.
Yeah, same,
you know, like
same.
well, kickboxer, I guess, really. And then it was like, well, you need to do some boxing fights, and then we need to do some jiu-jitsu matches. Okay, well, now you can do an MMA fight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, man, it's definitely interesting how it's evolved. What's your take on this most recent shooting attempt?
Dude, I was at an event, and
because I just thought about it. I was like, you'd be the person to ask about that.
I'll be honest, man. I have done my best to tune out all like political stuff.
Yeah.
I'm super fed up with. It's a waste of my time.
I get it.
I'm disgusted at the state of our country. You know, and politically, I think that just such a crazy time where rights are being eroded constantly. Like all the Epstein file stuff just drives me insane.
Yeah.
And
it's like all that's out, but it's not. You still don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many blacked out lines, right?
Mm-hmm. There's no evidence that crimes were committed, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes of reading through those files to find where you should have done an investigation.
Yeah.
Whereas oh man, what's his name? Kent, that just stepped down, resigned as was he national security?
I'm not sure what his title was, but yeah.
Whenever he stepped down, and now there's an investigation into him of whether or not he leaked stuff in the past. And I'm like, dude, this is the investigation that the FBI wants to open and has no problem and has the time to go do, is this political crap. What about the actual, like, the terrible things that are in these emails?
Yeah.
And you're just gonna not enough evidence?
It's no big deal. Yeah, it's just like whatever.
Nuts.
Oh, and how much is redacted? Like pretty much all of it. Not really, but it's a lot. You know what I mean? And this the UFO stuff too. That stuff's like insane to me. How it's like these scientists, like all this stuff that's going on right now, man. I just think we're at a point now to where you just can't keep secrets anymore, and like they're still trying to cover up things and cover them up again, and a layer here and a layer there, and then like I feel like better just come clean and let's say, okay, come on, like everyone has the information out at this point, or someone's going to access it, you know.
Yeah.
And if it leaks, it just makes you look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Like, just, you know, come forth with what you can. But I mean, there's so much more tied to that. I know it's not that easy, and there's way more that goes into it.
I think even more than ever in our past history, I think it's becoming like more and more clear to the average American that Democrat or Republican is the same side of a different coin. None of those people are rooting for you. None of those people have your best interests at heart. They're there for power.
Yeah. And money.
Yep.
Which is power.
There was all of the people that have been doing, Nancy Pelosi and all these other people who have been profiting, or their husband has been profiting from insider trading, where they're on a committee that's getting information about, where government contracts will be going in the next 3 to 5 years. And then their spouse magically buys that stock that they're using classified information in order to gain personal advancement. And then you have an SF dude who was apparently involved in the Venezuelan deal to go get Maduro, and he bet and won $400,000 that Maduro would be removed from power.
Yeah.
And now they're prosecuting him for that. It's like, man, so not for us, but just for you.
Yeah, you can do it, but we can't.
This is okay for you. This is not. I'm not even advocating for what that dude did, but it is pretty funny.
No, it is. Which is like, if you're like, that's what they got into with UFC and stuff. Like if you're on that staff or anywhere associated as coach or anything, you can't bet, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I agree. But I mean, yeah, but man, different set of rules for different people, unfortunately, and that's been that way forever. It's now that stone's rolling over, right?
Yeah, and I mean, with the declassification stuff from like the CIA, there's been a ton of crazy conspiracies that turned out to be right.
Yeah.
And it's bananas.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird time to be alive.
What about this Charlie Kirk shit, dude? Can you speak on it, or do you not want to? It's very hard to believe that was a 30-06.
I don't know.
Well, you would be one to ask. I'm just a spectator, but like just on my knowledge of what those bullets do, because I hunted one forever.
But bullets do weird things inside the body. Like I'm sure if you grew up shooting deer,
right?
I've shot a deer with a 270 that went through both shoulders, and then got caught in the skin and traveled down. I found it in the hindquarter.
Yeah, depending on the distance.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean I've shot a deer with a 30-06 and it blew a hole in it this big. Mm-hmm. And I've shot it again where it blew a hole that big. But I've never done it, or But I guess depending on okay. Well, then there you go.
Straight through and through.
Yeah.
And I didn't. There was no blood. It took me like 3 days. I finally went and found a dead carcass of a deer.
So you're not.
Yep. And that was with the 30-06.
So you're like, it could have been that. Well, the other thing is like, did you disassemble that weapon? That weapon really?
The gun that he used and the video footage is all super weird.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to bring. Like, it's not that it was 30-06. Was it that one really? And that you had time to disassemble it and then reassemble it? And
there are a lot of really weird things surrounding the shooting of Charlie Kirk. I'm not negating that in any way, shape, or form. I think, in my opinion, it was something nefarious going on. There's a much larger thing going on with that than what we know about.
Yeah.
But when I saw the original video of him getting shot, it looked exactly like getting hit in the spine from his head jerks and like his body goes. That's the first thing I thought was, no, he's dead.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it was very clear.
Yep. Well, even before the blood starts to come out, it's like, well, I've seen human bodies do crazy things when they get shot. And I've seen bullets do crazy things when they go through people. Actually, this is years and years ago, 10, 15 years ago. There was a shooting here in Shreveport, a police officer involved shooting, and a suspect was running from a cop, and he turned like this to shoot. And the officer, it was like 50-something yards at night, shot, and the bullet actually entered through his forearm, traveled down the bone, hit his shoulder bone, went through his cavity, and then came out his like right butt cheek.
Holy shit.
So like, if there were some weird circumstances around that shooting, you'd be like, there's no way that this is what happened.
Right. I get that. Yeah.
It's easy to say that. And I've seen, like I said, we've both seen the same exact, whether it's 5.56 AK or 30-06. I've seen it blow straight through and blow wide open. I've also seen it just make a pinpoint hole on both sides.
Yeah. And I've seen that too. I guess more, I brought that up to really more of the gun thing just blows my mind. And like I said, that's your field of study, not mine,
a lot of people are talking about like a sniper shot. It's like 100 and something yards.
It's not, it's not that far of a shot. Like, and even if they're like, you couldn't do that in iron sights, I've know plenty of individuals that are just plain ass country old boys that will do it. It's not a big deal. I mean, I've shot that. I killed my first deer, few deer with iron sights. 30-30, at close to that distance. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the gun thing was just one of those things where it was like, is that really the one, and the story, and that's another thing. The information we get, is it really the information? I mean, whatever.
The problem is all of these incidents are just creating more and more mistrust in the United States government and their ability to tell us the truth.
Right.
And then you take on top of that, we're getting all these declassified and released documents.
We're getting information saying essentially that it's been happening, and they're admitting, and it's just like, dude. And I don't want this to be that podcast, but I just like those things. I just feel like if it's around your wheelhouse, I just ask you, because I really haven't talked about this at all on any of these, because I don't like getting the weeds on this stuff, but also like, I don't know,
man. The Charlie, I will say something else about Charlie though. All of the events that happened surrounding the response by people online, all over across the United States, people celebrating and rejoicing that
was fucked up.
Crushed me, dude.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
I was really blown away by the inhumaneness and like just
because it's tied to political agendas or your political identity, which has nothing to do with humanity. That's the most discouraging thing about it, right? And it's not a race thing or anything like that. Like I don't want to celebrate the death of anyone.
Nope.
But just because that person had different ideas than you, Man,
it made me go back and I watched. I didn't the past, I don't know, 10 years, I've been getting less and less involved in politics.
Yeah, I'm not hardly involved
politics.
at all, except for conspiracy stuff like this. It really,
Yeah, I don't mind going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories for sure. But the thing to me is, it's gonna either I'm gonna have to do something about it because I'm a man of my convictions, or I can handle what's in my world right now. I'm gonna raise my kids to the best of my ability. The time that I spent on following politics, that time's gone. Now that time is spent with trying to make sure that I'm passing on the right information to my kids, make sure that my kids aren't growing up believing that crap. You know what I mean? And trying to like show them the truth. And I'll be honest, another thing has been, the further we get into this turmoil, this political turmoil in our country, the more it drives me to my faith. I've gotten way more into the Christian faith than I've probably ever been in my life in the past, especially in the past year, but in the past like 2 or 3 years, it's been way more, because there's just the state that people are in right now, like celebrating the death of a good man.
Yeah.
Whether you believed in his ideals or not, that is the point of this country, is to have, that is what freedom of speech is. At the end of the day, that is what we stand for, is that I should be able to go and talk openly, encourage discourse of, hey, I disagree with you, you disagree with me, but let's find that common ground.
Yeah, we're not doing that was a good format.
I think
for him, that was a good format because it worked, and
I think 9 times out of 10 he was incredibly respectful. He was incredibly, I mean, you could tell from watching this, because I didn't really watch him that much.
I wasn't a follower at all. I knew who he was, and I'd seen like viral clips.
Yep, same.
Of some crazy, like whatever, whatever they wanted to go viral. But like, I really didn't know much about him because I don't play in that space. But then when it started happening, I was just like, man.
The morning he got shot, actually, my wife had a doctor's appointment, and I was driving her to the doctor's appointment, and we talked. She was like, hey, what do you think about Charlie Kirk? And we sat there and talked about it, and then I picked her up from her doctor's appointment, brought her back, went up to the office, and when I got to the office is when he got shot. And I was like, how crazy is it that she just brought that up? And that forced me to like go back and look at a lot of his videos. I spent a lot of time going through his content, and I was blown away by how positive it was. A lot of people have this like misconstrued idea that he was somehow some kind of racist or I don't understand the ideology behind it, especially when you watch the videos. He was super tolerant.
Well, I think from what I see, I just think that he was exercising that right, and those people wanted to exercise that right, but they weren't taking the proper channels to do so. And so that he was doing it, was successful in doing it. They didn't really know how to do that, maybe, and they would combat against it. Or there's that left right shit where it's like these left don't like the right saying what they can, but the left can say what they can. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just a big pissing match.
Yeah. I'm disgusted with the way our political system has been operating and the way that people react to it.
Yeah.
I do think that it is also encouraging. The only positive is like, man, here recently I've seen a lot of people that just like retired or getting out of the military, a lot of like amazing warriors, like getting into the Christian faith and being so polarized and so turned off by what else was going on that they're being driven to something that's good. You know what I mean? Inherently good. And I think that's been an eye-opener to me is I mean, pursuing my faith and trying to figure out what I believe has led to a much deeper connection with my family, a much more intentional approach to being a dad. And I think it's a direct result of how bad, like when you see the bad of society, it's like, well, how do you stop that? How do you overcome that? And I think the only way is through love.
Yeah.
And
compassion.
I say a prayer every night with my kids, and every night I'm like, please God, help us to be a reflection of the love that we feel from you onto other people. And I try to encourage my kids to do that. I don't know, man. I think it's created such a polarizing environment. It's unhealthy. It's not progress. I think it's to the detriment of society right now.
Yeah, I don't know which way it goes from here. I don't know, man. I'm just hanging on. There's a lot of stuff. There's more that's happening this decade than's happening. I mean, look, we're in a race constantly for bigger, better things as being as human beings. But like the past decade's been insane, man. Like
Yep.
AI, government, COVID, information, misinformation, declassified information, classified, just all that shit, you know.
Yep.
And what's interesting is all this stuff's always been going on. It's just now we have access to it, right?
Yeah.
Internet.
I mean, you know, Bill Clinton was impeached for lying about sexual relations in the White House.
Yeah.
That was a huge ordeal.
Yeah.
The American public was outraged.
That was probably the biggest ordeal that I remember in the 90s.
I mean, you know, Nixon and Watergate was, you know, but now we have political scandals, in my opinion, way worse than that all the time.
Every
And
week.
it's like the president who ran on starting no new wars, lowest gas prices you've ever seen, and oh God, what was the other one? Whatever. That same president is now started a war. Like he's doing all the things that he said he wouldn't do, that he said the deep state would do. And I voted for him. You know what I mean? I hate that. I think that I was wrong.
Well, I mean, I just don't think it matters. I don't think it matters who you vote for. And I hate to say that publicly right now, but I think whoever they are, and I probably shouldn't be saying this kind of shit because I'm probably like this, but like whoever it is, like they're going to let it happen whatever it's going to happen. If they want it to happen, it's going to happen, right? And these people are just, it's a distraction. That person is, this side is just a distraction. And those agenda, I feel like the ebb and flow the pendulum swings this way for a little while and swings right back the other way, you know?
Yep. No, I agree. I also think that, I think that is like the goal or the purpose. That's why I pay less attention to it now. I just kind of have shut it off, is because it really at the end of the day doesn't affect me much.
Yeah. Me either, but when some eye-opening shit like what we talked about happens, then I'm like, you know, I'm looking at, and then I go through all these rabbit holes. I'm like, I can believe, all right, when some of it's like, if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck, you know, like no matter what information we do have, there's enough to say something's weird here. You know what I mean?
Yep. But I think that's the purpose of that whole song and dance, is to keep us separated, keep us from acknowledging how similar we all are. Because, you know, do we all walk around thinking that everybody else has it figured out and we're the only ones desperately trying to hide that we don't have it figured out? But the more you talk to people, the more you're like, no one has it figured out.
Of course.
That guy that's got it all together also doesn't know what he's doing. But I think focusing on how much more we have in common and trying to like relate and meet people where they are is the best way forward with it. I think you can change a culture of people by doing that.
Yeah.
And so that's been like my big thing, was trying to be more of a leader in my friends group or at my house, you know, with my wife and my kids. But like, and be more vocal about my faith. At the end of the day, I think that has been one of the largest game changers in my life, is finding my faith again. That journey has been like a super healing for me. I think that's the greatest calling on planet Earth, is to spread that Christian faith. And it's not popular. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not easy. It's super difficult. But learning that I'm never going to be perfect. You know, I'm tied to the flesh. But trying to, like, you know, go to God and die daily and repent and try to do the right things. I think that is how we change society and culture, if we're going to make progress, is focusing on that aspect.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I think that it's weird times, and they just keep getting weirder. And then it's one of those things where I've said this multiple times. I don't pinpoint one religion, but I just feel like that all the ones that seem to spread positive reinforcement and growth in any community, and us as humans, is you do good things happen. You do bad things happen. Let's do good things, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's I agree with that to some extent.
Yeah. No, look, I'm taking a very broad approach to it.
Yeah.
I'm not no type of biblical scholar or anything like that.
Me either. Like I said, I'm fairly new. I mean, I was raised as a Christian, but I definitely got away from Christianity.
I'm not happy with. I get weird in that space too, because I've been around so much of it to it's like, dude, you have it all wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking this out of context. You're using this to sway someone's opinion. You know, so it's one of those things where just. I would label myself a Christian, but I wouldn't label myself someone that can sit down and listen to a lot of things without having some sort of opinion that would not be popular.
2 years ago, I kind of started like a big it was almost 3 years ago now. Started really trying to like figure out who I wanted to be, like, especially starting my retirement process and all that stuff. I'm like, well, who am I if I'm not a Green Beret?
Right.
Trying to figure out that identity piece as well, and mission and purpose in life. But one of the things that really challenged is having friends that challenge me. Like Cody Alford was a buddy of mine, and we got to talking, and I'm like, I was just starting to kind of figure out that, like, I think I'm going to get really into my Christian faith, but I'm not quite certain yet. And me and Cody's like, I'm like, hey man, everything that you preach and do and like say, you're like living, they're biblical principles that you're living by, but you claim to not be a Christian. And we would have these arguments and like have these, not arguments, but like conversations on like, well, what do you believe about this? What do you believe about that? And then, dude, he asked me some super deep questions that I had never asked myself, of like, well, how do I know that? How do I feel about this? And that started a process of me like reading more and like going, like, at the end of the day, I can't stand before God when I die and say, well, but my pastor told me, or say, but so-and-so said, this is the standard at which I should live. It's me. How much did I search for that truth? How much did I spend, in a relationship with my God? And I didn't have a relationship. I had a dad that I would call on and be like, hey Dad, I'm in trouble again. Like that was pretty much what it was.
Like that Jelly Roll song.
Yeah. But now, like, building that relationship, and since then, actually this past at Military Appreciation Weekend in February, Cody Alford was baptized, and I got to go help baptize
Shout out to him, bro.
Dude, it was freaking awesome. He asked Mel Chansey to baptize him, and Mel came to me and was like, hey, Cody's a big dude. Will you help me baptize him? I was like, dude, I would be honored. And so just, I've seen more and more like warriors progress and like come around to Christianity in the past like year and a half, 2 years. I had a really good buddy of mine that was struggling. He was suicidal. And I sat him down and I was like, hey man, you've worked on everything that you can do except for this one area, which is like faith. And I'm not asking you to like get into, personally, I'm telling you that I'm kind of a brand new Christian, but find a religion. I don't care. Whatever makes sense to you, go study other ones and figure out which one you want to go to. My recommendation is to start with Christianity, but that's clearly biased. I love you. I believe it. If I didn't love you, then I wouldn't be offering that, And I said, we've talked since, but he said, man, the one thing that you asked me was, you have such a holdup when it comes to Christianity. Like, you just shut it off and you block it out and say, no, that's not for me. He's like, why? What is stopping you from giving it a shot and trying it? And he's like, dude, that kept me up at night. And then he sent me like a long text a couple months later, and he's like, man, I just stayed up till 2 a.m. watching YouTube sermons and crying my eyes out. And he's like, I thank you for staying, persistent with it. And it's now he's an incredible Christian. Now I look up to him, and I'm trying to get onto his level of that, which, it's just super interesting to see all of these people coming around. I think there will be the next big wave will be a lot of people returning back to the Christian.
Well, I mean, you look around. I mean, anyone who has any positive influence that are associated with that faith are doing good things, and there's a lot of people that aren't that claim to be, but this is, man, that's one of those things. It's like anything else, Yeah. But I mean, that's a faith that everyone's happy, everyone's getting along, things are getting done that are good, and a lot of times it's too good. It's one of those things where it's almost too good to be true. You're like, I question these motives, right? Because when you see something, you so many good things. Yeah. If you're the type of individual like I am, sometimes you're like, nah, I don't know, man. But it's. I'm saying that to say that that's why some people could be scared of it, because like there's been so many times where it's been tied to money or anything else, just like politics. But when you see someone doing something good, you're hesitant because we're not used to people doing good. But the whole premise behind it is to do good. Yeah. I think it's you can't hold people, or the fault isn't Christianity just because people do it wrong. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no perfect Christian, and there has only ever been one. So I can't say that I don't want to judge Christianity because of Christians. That's a very good point.
I completely disagree with most church culture. I think
I do too. And that's been the problem, right, for the longest time, is having that conversation. Because we can get in the weeds over one scripture, but that's not what it's about, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know how easy it is for me to say, hey, you're the one that's got to be accountable for yourself. I understand why you believe that. Here's why I don't believe it. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that is, I think, the purpose for us being here is to the pursuit of that knowledge and the pursuit of that relationship. Yeah, but not to sit around and debate if who's right or wrong. Nope, you know what I mean? Like that's what it comes down to a lot of times, and that's where it's frustrating. But Yep. And there's greed. There's all kinds of stuff that's rampant in that community, because all those people are still, at the end of the day, people. Exactly. And you can't put your faith in people. Not in man alone. You got to put your faith in God. I could sit up here and talk about some nasty things that other people have done, but I'd be very embarrassed if you knew about some of the things that I've done. You know what I mean? I've also been a bad person in my lifetime. So that's my goal, is to be bad less often. We're on the same path right now, I think. Yeah. I'm battling that every day. It's like, let me pay for all my past transgressions, right? And there are a lot of them. Well, my thing is my shame. So when I sin or when I fall short and I mess up, that shame stops me from coming back. Yeah. Next thing I know, I'm not reading my Bible and I'm not praying like I was doing daily, because I'm embarrassed of, I'm hiding naked in the Garden of Eden from God, like Adam was. I let that shame keep me and separate me from him and from his presence. And that is when things start to spiral for me. That's the hardest thing for me to work on in my Christian faith so far, is that I'm not a complete loser and a complete piece of trash because I failed or came up short or messed up. Actually, man, I've been watching this is weirdly enough, a lot of Theo Vaughn's stuff on Christianity lately. Yeah. And it has been freaking incredible. He's a very unique individual that has a lot of there's a lot more to him than most people give him credit. He's very dude, just on anything I've heard. It's like, if you really pay attention and listen to him have a conversation where he's not trying to be funny, which he just inherently is funny all the time. He's very, very intelligent, man. Yeah, dude, that blew me away. He's got a couple of things that he did. I think it's on his podcast, where he's talking about praying and asking for forgiveness. And even while I'm asking for it, there's this little piece in the back of my brain that says, I'm probably going to do that again. You know what I mean? And he's like, but I still plan on committing that sin. Right.
even though I'm going to you and asking for forgiveness and help and strength, he's like, God, I can feel that part of me wants to do that. Mm-hmm. Please forgive that part of me and strengthen the other part, not that part.
Yeah.
And like, man, I've added that into my prayers. I definitely pray that way. And addressing that and then like negative self-talk is the two things that I'm constantly trying to figure out, which could be shame, it could be a myriad of things that causes that. But I think it's much more difficult for me to live in a place of like grace and mercy than it is like, it's more natural for me to live in a place of shame or fear or hurt people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when you meet somebody that's super hurtful towards others, it's because something is lacking in them. So the fact that I'm super mean, if I talk to other people the way that I talk to myself, I would have zero friends, Yeah. And a super common thing. A lot of people deal with that all the time, and just act like they're not. But the more I open up and like share my story and the things that I've been through with others, the more that I hear that reciprocated back of, man, I feel the same thing. Your story is also my story. We're just all so similar.
Yeah. And that's why people need to calm the hell down, but
yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go on like a massive rant.
No, dude, you're good. I mean, that's something that needs to be said, right? I don't disagree at all. I just, I'm a few steps behind you, but I feel like I'm headed that same path. This is one of those things is like it's just finding your lane, right? Everyone has their own lane. And if you're, searching for some sort of answers or, whatever, that's one place to turn that anyone who has gotten answers from there haven't had anything bad to say about it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I do. I think that, all of my friends now, like that I work with at Core, Chad Robichaux, I got a chance to go do his podcast, and do jiu-jitsu with him. He's a 5-stripe black belt. He freaking wrecked me. But we had a fantastic time together. But man, we kind of met and developed a friendship, and the biggest thing that stuck out to me was his Christian faith. Like he is a man of character and a man of like his morals and his ethics and his character speak volumes about him to me. So having then I went out and met Tulam, and he's also like fairly new, 2 years into his Christian faith, and going through a lot of the same struggles and things, but he's for sure a Christian that I aspire to be like. Just as we get closer, and then one of my homeboys, Cody Alford, converts over to Christianity. So it's like creating this tribe where I don't necessarily feel like I have that when I walk in a church. I feel like most of these people are not like me.
Yeah.
But this is super cliche to say, but God doesn't call the I'm gonna mess up the quote.
I know what you're talking about now.
Call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Yeah.
So like he chose me in spite of my imperfections. That's okay. He knew that was going to happen. He knew that I would be this way. That's okay. In spite of it, he still chose me. And I think that it's not so much on a podcast. I don't know. I'm not a great public speaker by any means, but I think in like one-on-one like meetings with people, I feel like I can be impactful and be of service, building relationships with people. And I just feel like I'm slowly developing like a tribe of people that are just like me, similar stories, similar things, and then converting over like newer Christians, which I think Chad's been a Christian for quite some time. But I think it's good to have people that are like significantly further into the process than you are, and somebody that's like right behind you. So it's like, well, hey, you're going through that? That's crazy, man. I did that 6 months ago. Here's what helped me to get through it. You can help mentor someone else to avoid your pitfalls, and vice versa. I don't know. I think it's good to have someone that you're chasing and someone that you're following, even though comparison is the thief of joy.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's that really applies to most everything, honestly. Yep. And yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I agree. I think, yeah, I think that you said it pretty well. I agree.
I like the point that you said about like not fitting in with like the Christianity, or like seeing all the faults that exist within. I mean, do the mega church pastors that?
That's what I'm getting at. Like all of that surrounded. It's the church aspect of it, right? And it's the requirement to call here on certain day at certain time and all that shit. You know, like, and then feeling the pressure. Because if you're not there, then you're looked down upon by everyone. Like all that shit is not what was the point of the whole thing, anyways, right? So like that's where it gets like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I think it's like a heart thing, you know. For whatever reason, I think, you know, hypocrisy and a lot, you know, judging and condemning people. Happens a lot in the Christian church in the United States, for sure. But getting back to like the roots of Christianity and like fixing that issue of the heart of like, hey, I'm calling you and saying, hey, DJ, I didn't see you at church this Sunday. Are you good? Or is like something going on? That's a different thing.
That's a different conversation. Yeah.
Than calling somebody and saying, hey, dude.
Or I can't believe you did that. Or I can't believe you were out last night. Or blah, blah. Or you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. But that happens with anything, man.